the comic opening house tonight is certainly my oldest friend. It might not be what you're thinking. I've only known him for a little over 6 years, but he is definitely the oldest man I know. So everybody give it up for America's favorite Arizona Lou, in general.
Hey, thanks a lot, JD. I got to get myself organized here. I got to get my audience ready to go. Take some finagling. But I want to thank you for letting an old guy up here. Now, you people at home, this is going to be the first 10 minutes of my tour. If I had a tour, which thanks to COVID-16, I don't. But you probably want to know how old I am. I'm so old, I'm 78. And I lost track of that. And I'm told that, well, I was born in MCMXLI. Now, you know that's Roman numerals. I always have to explain it to people from New Jersey. When I was a kid, that's all we had. Not New Jersey, the Roman numerals. And every time thank you, Matt. Every time I dial a number, I'd get Roman charges. That was a little late, audience. And so when I was a kid, we had a whole different meaning for XXX. Looks like some of you need to watch a little less porn. And in your case, ma'am, a little more. Sesame Street. Well, you know, at my age, I do silly stuff, like trying to still stay alive. For the next 10 minutes. And I worry a lot. It wasn't that funny. I worry a lot about what's going to fall off next. And my last name isn't even Jenner. Hey, you gotta wait for the punchline now, people. Yeah, you know, if I'm lucky, I'll remember what I want to say. And if you're lucky, I'll wander off somewhere. Silver alert! Silver alert! I could become famous. I could be on one of those electronic signs. I just love those things. Yep. You know, you can get distracted without even using a cell phone. And they always tell you important information. Like, in Pennsylvania, they had one that said, motorcycles, orange, you glad? Orange, you glad you look? Well, I did at the sign, and I have no idea how many motorcycles I ran over in the meantime. But they did tell me the important stuff. They told me the important stuff, like how many minutes to the next intersection, which I don't care about. And if I knew how far it was from here to that intersection, I'd divide by the minutes and then multiply by 60, and I would get the average miles per hour. Yeah, instead of watching my driving. Well, I just hope I don't wander off to Chicago. Hey, did you see the latest news? Shootings are up 88% over last year. Murders are up too, but not nearly as much. Seems to me we need to give them more gun classes. To improve their aim. I flew to South Dakota on Halloween. I was going to ride a broom. No, this isn't what you think it is. I was going to ride a broom, and instead I took a Legionnaire. You know what's worse than the Legionnaire? American Airlines. Less space, you're crammed in there. But I flew to Miami to do a show, Basic Economy. Now, some of you don't know what basic economy is, so I'll explain to you rich people. That's where you're last to get on the airplane. And when you get on, all the overhead bin space is gone with the wind. I need to explain to you young people, particularly you watching on the internet, that is an old movie with Rhett and Scarlett in it. And then they put me in a little narrow middle seat. Well, that's okay because I have a little narrow middle butt. What's funny about that? Why are you laughing? And then, when I got sat down, I noticed a BBW coming down the aisle. Now, you know that is BBW. That reminds, it stands for big, beautiful woman, which reminds me of my first car. It was a blue BW. Well, she had her eye on the seat next to me, and so in self-defense, I put down the armrest and took a big breath. And man, it wasn't that funny. She was the only person I ever saw who could have a close encounter of the third kind with seats on both sides of the aisle at the same time. Yeah, and when she sat down beside me, it changed the center of gravity of the airplane. She was a nice lady, had a nice visit, but it took 7 seatbelt extensions to get her in. She really didn't need them, considering she was wedged in so tight she wasn't going anywhere except to Miami. Well, yeah. We had a nice conversation. I did learn that I couldn't inhale when I wanted to. I had to inhale only when she exhaled. Have you ever, now, you guys are too young, you gals are too young, you've never had a colonoscopy. But I had a colonoscopy. That's not funny. And we learned about JD's butt quite a bit, more than we wanted to. But I decided to have the colonoscopy without anesthesia. It was great. I would do it again. There I lay on the table. The doctor gave me a nice tour of what he was doing, and I'd never seen my butt in high def on a big screen TV. His probe was like a little remote control snake, and functionally it was like a train going through a little tunnel. It had, so you could see it, had a big light. It had a camera. It It had a shop vac for cleaning up everything, and it had pincers so it could pick up. It picked up a polyp, a little tiny thing like picking up a mushroom. I could never call cancer. On your electronic calendar, set it for when you're 45. Get a colonoscopy. It saves lives. Then you'll have to figure out another way to die besides getting cancer. I had voice surgery. That's not funny. And it's embarrassing on the internet when my voice goes up high. Imagine doing comedy with this squeaky little voice. I sound worse than Jay Leno. And it's embarrassing on the telephone. I'll say, hello. May I speak to the man of the house? I am the man. Or worse yet, hello? Are your parents home? Yes. I put them up on the mantle. They told me in life to earn everything.
All right.
Hey,
Thank you, Lou.
you people are great. You people are great. Thank you very much. I'm Arizona Lou.
Thank you, Lou, very much. Everybody, give it up one more time.
Yeah.
Yes, we stand. The Arizona Lou. One only.